This is Arnd from Darkness, and you are listening to Metal Meltdown on Metal Messiah Radio.
Without cause, yet you unaware that I am there. I do not care. I kill without remorse. Get what you deserve, expecting to be worse. Fall, then I will serve. Third, second, versus violence. Tooth and eye for eye. Time to slay and time to die. An architect of genocide. Don't need reason, don't need pride. You get what you deserve. To be worse. For all that I would serve. In third, second versus violence. Strangle or electrocute. Stab to death, destroy and shoot. Show no mercy, kick and slap. Be as morbid as I am. Disregard is some praise. Violence is the human way. Angriness is natural. Join me doing take this hell. You get what you deserve. To be worse. For all that I would serve. In third, second versus violence. Without cause, yet you unaware that I am there. I do not care. I kill without remorse. Get what you deserve, expecting to be worse. Fall, then I will serve. Third, second versus violence. Versus violence. Third, second versus violence. Versus violence! Third, second, versus violence!
Alright, Metal Maniacs, here we go. Please help me welcome to Metal Messiah Radio, hailing from Altenessen, Ruhrpott, Germany. We have Massacre Record Thrashers Darkness. We have joining us. Please welcome on guitars and vocals, Mr. Arnd Klink.
Hello, folks, from Germany.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Metal Meltdown, Arnd. Thank you for taking the time to be here.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to give you an interview. 8,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean. That's a big honor for me.
It's an honor for me to get with you too, and we're going to have a lot to talk about. And I just want to know, how you doing out there in Germany tonight?
Very fine, very fine. I'm on vacation with my girlfriend and sitting in a hotel, and we just had coffee and things, and it's I'm very fine, and I was looking forward to doing the interview, and I was a little bit excited, I have to admit. So
it is a very exciting situation for me too, as we've never got a chance to speak before, and I hope that we get the chance to do this in years to come as well. It's like I said, it's great to have you here so that we could talk about your newly released offering, First Class Violence. And it's very interesting to know that this is the band's 5th full release, and I believe it's the first one out on Massacre Records. And it's just really outstanding to have this new offering. And the band's been out there 30 years. It's hard to believe that.
Yes, it's hard to believe for me too. So we had the anniversary of Death Squad last year, the 30th anniversary, and it was, I have become kind of an old man, but I just feel like I'm 20, and it's absolutely crazy to record a new album, and we're quite successful in Germany and in Europe, and after all these years, that's almost unbelievable, and I'm very proud for that.
You mentioned Death Squad. That was the band's first release, and you've been there since the beginning, as well as LACKY on drums, and
yes.
And your former vocalist who passed away, unfortunately, rest in peace, Ali, in 1998. I'm not sure exactly what had happened there, but it's good to know that you did re-release the Death Squad release, and that we're here to talk about this brand new offering. So it's an exciting time for me as well. Would you please inform us on who makes up the current lineup of Darkness?
The lineup is on vocals Lee, a new man, and he's with us for the last 3 years, since 2014, for 4 years. So Lee on vocals, on guitar is MEIK and me, and on bass guitar a guy called DIRK, and of course LACKY on drums, who's the oldest member, and who's the founder of Darkness, actually.
Oh, very nice, very interesting. And you were talking about the times that's passed, and you say you're like an old man, but you don't look like an old man. You've kept yourself very healthy, very good looking, and
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. And also congratulations on this new offering, First Class Violence. What led you to sign with Massacre? I have to say, when I've listened to this album, it's a killer thrash offering.
Thank you. Thank you. We've recorded the last album, The Gasoline Solution, and we had a small label in Germany, and we wanted to get a bigger label for the new album we planned that time, which is now First Class Violence, and so we just looked around and applied for a deal, and Massacre offered us very, very good conditions, and I think it's important for an underground act like Darkness to have a label who works for you, who works with you, like comrades or colleagues, and it's important not to be a number. If you imagine we would have a major deal, we only would be a number. And on Massacre Records, we are not just numbers, but we are Darkness. They know us, we know them, and they're doing a very, very good job.
That helps, and Massacre Records has a lot of great bands on their label. I love interviewing and supporting Massacre Record label bands, so it's an honor for me to get with you today.
Thank you.
I'm very curious to know what led to the break in between releases of your last release and, let's say, was it the 80s, late 80s? There was a time lapse. What was the reason for that?
Yeah, we had a few changes, not few, we've had many changes in the lineup, which means LACKY and me are the only old members of Darkness who played at Darkness all the time, and that was one reason, because I think folks want to see a proper line-up and a steady line-up and not always changes. That was one problem. The other problem was, and I have to be honest in that, we are no businessmen. You know, we are Lucky and me. We are musicians and we are metalheads and we love heavy metal and we love to be together with the people and to play for the people. But you have to be a businessman a little bit if you want to succeed in music. And that was, we had a big lack of that, and we had no management. You know, some bands like Sodom and Creator, friends of us here in Germany, they have good management, good booker, and that was what was missing for us. Guys who say get up at a certain time, go to stage at a certain time, and do promotion and things. That was one reason, and the other reason was we had a smaller label at that time. And we weren't able to play tours. There was no money to play tours. There were no offerings for supports, and so we failed with that, and we quit with Darkness in 1989 with the last album, Conclusion and Revival.
Right. Thank you for explaining that. I can imagine it's difficult when you don't have management, and the times have changed, though, since the late 80s to now. So even when you do become a good businessman, unfortunately, the business of metal is not the same as it was 30 years ago.
That's right. I think it's easier to become known and to become to get a bigger audience because of the internet, but it also makes it harder because everyone can use the internet and everyone can try to become famous and known, and so it's a curse, and it's a good thing either, and. The main thing, the most important thing, I think, is that we have become older, perhaps a little more adult, to deal with the things more like adults should do, more like businessmen. So, you know, we don't do that for money, and we don't want to become rich with music. We do it because we love it, but we look on fees, and we look for business, and we do promotion, and we do things like that, and that is very important. And it's easier for us today because of the internet. Back in the 80s or 90s, you had to do it via snail mail.
Right.
And that wasn't, and if you would have called me in the 80s, so you would have to sell your car for the money to pay the call. Yeah. Right.
It's like a double-edged sword. You have both pros and cons with the state of the world today, but we have to take advantage of the positive sides of it. So that being said, we're glad to be here to talk about you and Darkness. And I'd like to know, how does the music of Darkness, as far as the writing process, how do the tunes all come together? What's the process like? Who's writing the music? Who's writing the lyrics? Could you explain to us most of this?
Yes, of course. We do it the old school way. That means someone is coming into the rehearsal room and with ideas and says, "I've got a riff, I've got a refrain, I've got something. Just hear this, and let's make a song out of this." Sometimes I personally prefer to record demos at my home and get them to the rehearsal or send them via mail, and we all do that in the rehearsal room and work together. And we are one of the old school bands who go to rehearsal once a week. Sometimes before we have to go to studios or we play very big concerts. We play twice a week or 3 times a week. So that's the way we do the music. We write the lyrics. I have written, I think, 7 of 10 songs, and the other songs were written by Lee and DIRK. Because that's easier. If one guy does it on his own, it's not that easy to write lyrics with together with someone else.
True.
We have recorded the songs in our rehearsal room. Our guitar player MEIK is sound engineer. He is educated as sound engineer, and he did the recordings for the guitars, and drums, vocals, and the mix were done in a studio of a guy we know here in Essen.
It came out very well. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. The guy, the name of the guy, I have to mention him. He's Corny Rambado, and he also did the last Sodom album, and he recorded or produced, he produced a band called Disbelief. I don't know if they are known in the United States, but they are very well known in Europe. And he's a drummer and he's a sound engineer, and he's doing a fucking good job.
What was the name of the band again?
The name of the Sodom, and the other band is Disbelief.
Okay, I might have heard of them. Sure. Okay, I got to look into that to make sure. And who did the CD artwork for First Class Violence? Is also very cool. It almost reminds me of almost like a Maiden-esque or Iron Maiden type of cover. Not exactly, but I could see it a little bit.
Yeah, the guy is called Timon Pokot. He's living 200 kilometers in the north of Essen, and we are, even though we are a big country, we are a small scene, and not almost, but people know each other. And Timon did some artworks for smaller bands and for smaller demos, and we know him from friends of us, and we wanted to have an old school artwork that's linked to our roots, like Death Squad or Defenders of Justice. And so we asked him to do this artwork, and he said, okay, I will try it, and that's how he did this artwork for the new album.
Another win. He did a great job for you. I'm very proud of you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for explaining that.
Yeah, he's Timon. I have to mention it. He's working at the theater in Germany, and he's painting the backgrounds for the theater. And so he's a painter in one way, and he's artist on the other in the other way. So he's the right guy for this.
Very talented. And where would you say would be the best place for the fans of Darkness to get a copy of First Class of Violence? I would imagine they could get it at the shop link on your facebook.com Darkness Death Squad. But what would you say would be the best place and to get the music, but also to get what other merch you may have? And if you could tell us about more merch. I know you have your website, Darkness thrash.de, and there's a merchandise link on there. So are those the best places to go look for it, or where would you say?
Yes, I would recommend this one. It is darkness-thrash.com, not de, it's com.
Oh.
And you've got you've got a link to the shop. It's the shop by LACKY, sector 12. And you can get the CD and furthermore other merchandise like T-shirts, older albums and things. Everything you would like to have from Darkness, you can get in this shop over darkness-thrash.com.
Thank you for clarifying that. We do appreciate that. And
a little advertising.
You got it. That's the reason for these interviews. You got to promote the bands and get the fans to support the bands by getting merch, by getting the CD. So we have to give that information. So I appreciate you setting the record straight with the links and stuff like that. So you had mentioned earlier about Sodom, and I noticed Darkness has been out there performing in support of First Class Violence. Can you share with us some of your favorite highlights from these shows? And as you mentioned Sodom, I noticed you have an upcoming show January 15th with Sodom, and if you could tell us more about that and what other upcoming shows you may have. We want to hear it all. We're really excited to hear about this stuff.
Yes, we are playing four shows now in Germany next year. There's only one show in Germany this year in the near of Nuremberg, and 4 shows are booked in Germany for the next year. One show in January with Sodom, and I'm keen to play with them. I'm looking forward to that show. I think it will be very good. And we played the whole album on our release show on the 12th of October, which is a few days ago, and I have to mention that as a really highlight. We did it in a club in our area, and it's a small club for a small venue for 300 people, and it was full under the roof, and the sweat ran down the walls. Really, it was hot, and it was loud and noisy, and people really celebrated the whole album, and they knew some of the songs from YouTube. We've got this official video on YouTube, and it was a very, very, very special moment to celebrate with 300 maniacs who came to see us, to celebrate the new album, to do the release show with us. It was, yeah, I was really flashed about that.
That's outstanding.
And first highlight of the new album.
Very nice. And you were mentioning just now videos. I went to the YouTube channel for Darkness, the Darkness Thrash on YouTube, and I was actually looking for some official videos, and you were just talking about an official video. Could you please tell me more about that and what other videos you may have available or plan on making, whether it's official or lyric or any kind of video, because I didn't see too much for the new offering on there.
Yeah, we've recorded the title track, First Class Violence, was recorded for a video. A friend of us who's playing at Legion of the Damned, I think you know them. And we recorded the video in summer this year, First Class Violence, and you can see it on YouTube. Just search for First Class Violence and you will find this video. And we have another lyric video, which is official, of the first song, Low Velocity Blood Spatter. And there are some videos of further shows, of former shows, sorry, but no videos yet of new songs, because we just played one show with new material, with new stuff. So you will only find these two videos, First Class Violence and Low Velocity Blood Spatter.
Thank you, Arnd, for explaining that.
I hope we're going to do a second video, but that's not quite sure. I can't promise.
The more the better, I always say, so I hope so for your sake. And thank you for explaining all that to us. And Arnd, would you like to talk a bit about your guitars?
About my guitars, what can I play? Two Ibanez guitars, both made in the 80s, an RG and an Explorer, the shape of an Explorer. And what can I tell you? And I play Marshall amplification. I'm not endorsed by not by Artenessen and not by Marshall, but it sounds very good in my ears. And that's what
counts.
I play.
That's what counts, really. It does. And what do you do when you're not doing Darkness?
Yeah, it's a good question. You could also, or you could ask me what would I do without my liver or without my lungs?
Right.
You know, Darkness is not just a band. It's a very important part of my life, and it accompanied me for the last 30 years. And I can't imagine not to play at Darkness. I believe I would play in another band, but it really makes me proud to be part of this small little legend, Darkness. And I can't imagine. I just would say I would play in another band.
I see.
But I want to play music. I would want to play heavy metal because that's my music, but that's my sound, and I love it. And I can't imagine to play different sound like classics or something.
I hear you. But I'm sure if you put your mind to it, you probably could do any kind of music you'd like to, because you have the talent to do that, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I listen to different music. I don't listen to heavy metal only. I listen to other styles of music, but I love to play heavy metal, and I really love the scene because the scene is very well organized, and I think heavy metal is not just a kind of music. It is an attitude.
It's a lifestyle, right?
A lifestyle, of course, it's a lifestyle. Some months ago, I saw Anvil in Essen. They played a tour, and I saw them in Essen. And the singer and guitarist Lips. He said, "I'm 64 years old. Look at me. People don't care." He said, "Look to the audience here. Young people, old people. I see long hair. I see short hair. I see no hair. Heavy metal is from a child to a grandpa. It doesn't matter who you are, how old you are, where you come from. It's an attitude, a lifestyle, and that's important, and that's what I love in heavy metal.
That's true.
Otherwise we wouldn't talk here on phone and do an interview.
Exactly, this is true. And Arnd, what would you say would be among your proudest moments being in Darkness? I could tell by talking to you that you're very proud to be in Darkness, and it means very much to you. So if you can share with us some of your proudest moments, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I think one of the proudest moments was playing the Keep It True festival in 2006. Keep It True is a festival where old school bands play, and it is very well known in the world, and people from all around the world come to see bands at Keep It True. It's not very big. It's like 3,000 or 4,000 people in a small hall, and we played the Kid number 6 in the year 2006, and that was when we started with Darkness again, and there was that time between 1989 until 2000 when nothing had happened, and I thought no one knows Darkness and nobody cares about Darkness, and we came to the venue, and it was our time to do sound check, the line check, and I put my amp on stage and plugged in my guitar, and it was just a line check, and people in front of the stage were shouting Darkness and were shouting Death Squad and Iron Force, and I was really flashed. We played at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and metalheads on festivals usually we are drunken or have a hangover at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But the venue was full of people, and many people were there. And after the show, I went to the audience and I met people from Mexico, from the United States, from France, from everywhere, who were at Keep It True to see Darkness. And that's what when I recognized we have been there all the time, we have been in mind of the people all the time, and it really flashed me. Because I'm not a rock star, I'm not Kirk Hammett or something, or James Hetfield, but people come or came to see us, to listen to our music, and that was really proud moment, really.
I definitely get that. Congratulations on that. Sounds like you had a blast, a really great time, and it sounds like you really appreciated, which means a lot.
Yeah, and after that we had a big party and celebrated our success, and that was the time when we considered to go on with Darkness in 2006.
Very nice. And Arnd, is there anything that you would like to say to your loyal fans that are tuning in tonight?
Yeah, I have to say it again. I am proud and I'm thankful to be part of the scene, because it's so great and so unique, and I'm thankful to the people that they held the spirit after all these years. They kept the spirit of Darkness after all these years. I mean, I met people who weren't even born when our first record was released, and that really makes me proud. I want to thank them. It's unbelievable. And I really hope to play in the United States in the next year, perhaps.
That would be great. We'd love to see you here.
Yeah.
We really would.
I hope so. I really hope so. Thank you all out there, and thank you for listening to the interview, and support the metal scene, and support Metal Messiah Radio and your work.
We appreciate you saying that. And Arnd, I have to tell you, I've enjoyed our conversation and the opportunity to get to know you a bit better. And I hope that we have future opportunities to be back here again on the Metal Meltdown to talk about your future releases, because I would definitely enjoy that.
Thank you. I hope so too. Thank you very much.
Let's hope so. And before we go and crank up more Darkness, I want to make sure that we got all the fans up to speed. If there's anything else that you'd like to mention that we have yet to discuss, please do so.
As I said, keep the spirit, keep the head up high, be proud for being a metalhead, and you folks out there really rule. And bands and me, we would be nothing without all the metalheads outside. Thank you very much for that. That really makes me proud. I'm really proud for that. Thank you.
Yeah, we've loved having you here today, and we want to thank you again, Arnd, and we want to wish you and All in Darkness a very successful release, and that you have many more releases in all the years to come. And like I said, you're welcome back anytime. Keep on thrashing, keep doing what you do, and we'll be here to support it.
Thank you. Hope to see you in New York and the United States very, very soon. We will try to make it over the Atlantic.
Let's make it happen. Yes,
Thank you.
Yes. How about now we go crank up some more Darkness and crank it up loud?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And then, so people, listen to Darkness and bang your heads!